This pickup truck has somehow gotten extremely dirty.
Oh. Oh, the one in the train.
Yeah, and it's also at half durability.
Just from clanging around all the time.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
can you
is.
blame it?
It is dirty. It honestly looks like someone just took a handful of cow shit and just threw it at the windshield. Like
It wasn't a handful, it was a 5-gallon bucket. I'm not handling that stuff. Just saying.
I mean, we were beating up pretty bad before we even put it in the train.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, didn't you guys like sink it in a river somewhere?
We've cleaned it since then.
Yeah. We air
We
dried
even
it.
took it to the shop.
Just saying, hydrolocking an engine's a bad thing.
That'll be fine.
It's amphibious. Didn't you see me drive it out of there?
No, I didn't actually.
Oh.
I was in the middle of a piece of equipment. All I heard was salt. No! Then I look over and you guys are swimming.
Roll
I was laughing at you.
Yeah, what are we doing, kids?
Grass.
Grass.
I'm trying to get enough together to do hay for both barns. Everything else is going in the
Okay. I guess you can take that line right there and dry it out.
Okay.
and then I'll swing through, pick it up, and drop it off wherever it needs to go.
Oh, Abby, that game is so good.
Rip.
Eh.
Eh? You were playing it all day too, weren't you?
No, actually, I played American Truck Simulator because they're having a Holland Hope event.
Oh.
And I also played some Sniper Ghost Warrior 4, and I logged back into it to build a tin and copper outpost. It looks pretty cool.
I played it all day.
Medicine hut. Shaman hut. Now that I've found core wood, I can actually make the big beams, which then reduces the stress on all of it.
Suddenly have a Rufus.
I don't know how to respond to that. Wait, Rufus is your cat, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Ghost has crashed out on his little blanket next to me.
I am being used as a stool.
Kitty and Jed have been fighting over the box that the modem came in. By fighting, I mean fur did fly.
Oh wow. Really fighting. Rufus has left me.
So, where I did that earlier stream today, like the first part, not the one I just finished,
Yeah.
For the first 4.5 hours of that stream thereabouts, there was no game audio on stream, and no one told me.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
The new modem works better for the second stream.
Yeah, extreme. I sent you a screenshot of comparison on Inspector.
Of the speed tests, not of the stream.
Oh, speed test. Yeah. I mean, there wasn't that much difference speed test wise. It was like,
I mean, it's still noticeable. It's like at least a 10%.
yeah, you heard me, Numero, but the game itself didn't have any sounds. Like you were getting me and Pretzel, and Discord, of course, but that was about it. Differences weren't all that like drastic. It was. I guess might not notice. Yeah, I guess some people just didn't notice. But yeah, it was like first one was like 60 down and like 5.5 up, and then the once I changed it out, it was like 8.5 or 9 up and 70 down. But that can easily be chalked up to time of the day that I was doing it. But I mean, that stream earlier kind of confirms that, yeah, the modem was starting to go out because I had no network frame drops versus the 40,000 I had with the early stream. Nom, did you get any further in Valheim on your single player stuff?
Me?
Is your name Nom?
I thought you said, well, did you get further? I was just like, no.
Numeru.
I built a cabin in Black Forest, that was it.
Been there, done that. Yeah, improved my health zone, improved my hut zone, collected more stone, got a few miscellaneous things. Okay. You liking it thus far, though? Yeah, been fun. That's good. Yeah, hope you enjoy it. Actually, the developers just made a post a couple hours ago saying that they've already hit 2 million sales now. So, 1 million sales in a week.
Yeah, that's pretty good. But they weren't expecting it.
No, probably not. Maybe.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Damn hay pile. Trying to get this header out of the way.
Help me out.
I'm going to. I'm getting this header out of the way. Much better than when I tried Ref. Spent 90% of my time prepping food and water. Yeah, Ref's early game is a bit poor. Late game's good, you know, once you've already got everything set up, but God, those beginning hours are rough.
Yeah, you really got to get some food in that thing. At the beginning, at least. Once you get some of it automated, then it's a deal. Like once you're growing, like most of the time.
Yeah.
Like trying to fish enough potatoes out of the water. Keep your fed is rough.
Where are our loading wagons, Abby?
There's one on the back of the red one over there, next to the sheep. And other one, I don't know.
Maybe BGA.
Maybe. I was using that red one to grab grass to do this with. Yeah.
That's sick of it.
Yeah, sick of doing it that way because, yeah, I thought this way was faster. It kind of is because, like, the loading rail gets really nice for like following the lines. Oh shoot! They're like where? Quick! Accidentally drove through this pile.
Oh,
He's about to bust.
You might have missed some, but it wouldn't be a lot.
the horror.
Well, my boss is a real numbers jerk, so yeah, probably would have got a stern talking to.
Yeah.
So, did you have fun with Noida last night?
Oh, I had a lot of fun actually.
Looks really awesome.
It's a lot of fun, but it's a huge amount of work to like learn how it all works.
This farm over here is cool. When I'm driving up to nothing, I'm just,
Mhm.
I'm just trying to clean up my mess so that it's not garbo. Thank you for the assist.
Mhm. Yeah, so the fun part's going to be tomorrow. We've got to figure out how to get silver down to the coast.
Cart.
Abby, we're on a mountain, bud.
So then you
Mountain
just put it in the cart and you let the cart go and the mountain does the work for you.
And the cart breaks, and you lose your containers.
But the stuff is still there. And it's that much closer to the shoreline. Oh my god.
Good job.
You like,
He forgot to put his pipe out.
oh,
I just ate like all that hay.
oh,
It's okay because I think we're almost in a room.
and that was money.
So there's a big old pile of money in the bunker waiting to ferment.
I don't want fermented money. I want that fresh, happy money.
It's denim either way. What are you worried about?
I'm gonna empty out this hay.
Okay.
Okay.
Now to pull up grass.
Does the forage header have a wider pickup than the loading trailers?
Yes.
So could I pull the header behind flour and you still be able to pick up the whole thing that it spreads out?
Probably.
Okay, it's an option for next time.
I think the pickup range on the forage headers 3 meters and the loading wagons are 2.5. So it's just a little wider, but it would probably do it just fine.
So, am I good? Don't need to load wagon anymore?
We gotta grab all the grass up.
Oh. I know that.
If you want to follow me with the semi and trailer.
Hey.
Man, Gremlin, it's a good thing you leave your pickup truck in neutral when you park it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they're called bumpers, just saying. There's something kind of weird today. So, like, privately owned vehicles for personal transportation in a lot of countries are limited to the number of cylinders, horsepower, and heavily regulated on their fuel consumption.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I think it's in the UK that certain size vehicles have to pay a tax to drive in the city. It's like an emissions tax.
There are places in Europe where you're not allowed to drive diesel cars at all. After the whole Volkswagen debacle.
Oh, well that, yeah. I mean, there were a couple of other competing cars and manufacturers that did some similar things. It probably stopped that with a, oh, we retested.
Yeah, but still there's some cities that just don't allow any diesel car. Trucks are probably still allowed, but not cars.
But so like this is what gets me, right? Like my truck is a diesel, and instead of having like 120 mile an hour top end, I have a ridiculous amount of torque. So the towing capacity of my truck as a diesel is like 9,400 pounds. If it was a gas equivalent, it'd be like 8,750. So there's almost 1,000 pounds difference. But my truck gets like 25 to 30 to the gallon, where the gas equivalent would be lucky to get 16.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, how are gas trucks that size still a thing, given the advances in completely off the roads now? There. Shoot. Pick this header up. Get down here faster. Anyways, so like, and then I started looking at like turbo diesels and everything else for like passenger vans and stuff like that. And it's kind of the same thing across the board. Lower top speed, higher torque, higher efficiency engine. And I just don't understand why they would outlaw diesel passenger vehicles, like privately owned vehicles, when the emissions are so much less in comparison.
I don't think they are less. That's the problem, right?
Yeah, they're not.
They're less for trucks when you're towing a lot because you're not wasting the gas. But for a regular car, they're dirtier.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Very much
Otherwise,
so.
why wouldn't we just have all diesel everything?
Here in America?
Yeah, anywhere really.
Well, you can still get diesel cars in the UK, from what I understand.
Yeah, you can get them here too. Can you get them here?
Yeah,
I
Volkswagen.
can.
Volkswagen is pretty much the only people that bring a diesel car to the United States.
But
Some
quite a few.
Jettas are diesel.
That's the VW.
I mean, there's like diesel Ford cars in Europe,
Yeah.
which is weird because they're made here. They're like made specifically for Europe to be diesel, but they don't have them here.
Well, I don't know if anybody here knows a lot about classic cars, but like the Falcon and the Fairlane were Ford like sedans and coupes that were made in the 60s. They stopped production in the 70s, but you can still find like 2020 Ford Falcon Fairlanes in like Australia.
It's controversial, but in order to get a registered truck, you have to show that you have a use for the truck. Live in the city, and there's so many people that just daily drive trucks around the city. Yeah, that's really bad, right? That's a lot of extra smog, and in the city where it's the worst place to do that.
Yeah, it's common practice down here. Everybody's got a damn truck.
Yeah.
I like to do is the rednecks around here say roll call.
Oh yeah.
I just like I see the utility in a truck, but I would never own one. It's just not for me.
Yeah, I mean, there are other vehicles that can do almost as much as, as far as storage and towing and stuff without, I don't know. To me, like, I think there's a risk in having a truck, right? Like, you can't just put stuff in the bed and leave it there.
Yeah, you can.
If it's stuff no one's gonna steal from you.
Well, I mean, like, I'm not gonna throw my family jewelry back there.
Well, that, and you can get a bed cover that's got a lock on it.
Yeah, you can.
I have one. So, diesel engines put out a larger CFM of exhaust gas, but the concentration of what they call greenhouse gases is lower, if I'm not mistaken. Like that's their major appeal. That's why there's not as much emissions regulation on a diesel.
I haven't done research, I'm not sure.
I have 1,000 photo paper. Hang on.
Practical way to do that might be a risk if I do that. What for? I'm not sure what you're talking about now.
Oh, okay.
It requires kind of proof. Oh, you're saying you think they should. I thought you were saying they did.
Well, I know that a diesel engine will fail emissions if it's not at normal operating temperature within 6 months.
They run dirtier when they're cold.
Yeah, the combustion cycle is not as complete as it is when they're at normal operating temperature, and even at an idle with no load at NOT, they're dirtier running then than when they're under full load with the turbo kicked on. It's just the amount of air and how clean it can combust the diesel, because from what I remember, from everybody laying into me when I bought my diesel, you have to let it warm up before you take it into emissions testing, or you will get fined.
I'm looking it up. Just give me a moment.
Oh, you're
Does
fine.
that also mean then that if you're using it just for short distances, you're very dirty?
If you don't let them go through a warm-up cycle, and especially what was it, 9th generation forward, the generation before the slug came out, they had a particulate filter that it would burn off from time to time, but sometimes people wouldn't let them warm up or wouldn't run them long enough for that to occur, so it would build up a large collection of gunk.
Oh, okay.
And then it would raise the temperature on 2 of the cylinders, causing them to wear out faster. So they were just generally more expensive to run and own than the previous generations. But like when they changed the fuel around to make it sulfur free, is it sulfur or phosphor? Well, they removed something from it. It took a lot of the heat out of the diesel, and the motors had to be redesigned. But comparing a truck from like 1970 to a truck from 2000, it takes 22,000 trucks to be like one 1970 truck for emissions.
Wow. Where's our semi? Nobody has it.
It's next.
There it is. I got it. I swear I flipped through all the vehicles and didn't see it.
What kind of gets me about it though is that like when you look at it from a physics point, right? This much energy must be used. So fuel efficiency is just creating a more efficient engine.
Right. You convert more of it to locomotion than the heat.
Right. So
Hey, Axer.
if you're given 2 different types of fuel, you're talking about 2 different types of motor, but for the same amount of work, right? And if both create toxic fumes, wouldn't you want the one that goes further to be more employed? So like the higher fuel efficiency engine would be the one that you want to go for?
Yeah.
Because I mean like, yes.
I sent you a scientific study in the form of a PDF in your DMs.
You want me to read this out?
You don't have to read it, but, you know, you wanted information, so I sent it to you. Think it works this way? Oh, it's not the vehicle stuff, Axer.
Just open it. Bring safety emissions of a modern medium-sized car model under laboratory and on-road test conditions. The new Golf TDI, the Golf TSI. Alright, so essentially the same thing, with only one thing changed. Oh, okay. Findings testing confirmed the gasoline emitted lower CO2 levels than the TDI under laboratory conditions. 109 grams per kilogram, but CO2 isn't the only chemical we're worried about. That's something they tested me on. Actually, we're more worried about carbon monoxide. During on-road testing, CO2 levels of the gasoline engine were found to be lower than the TDI. Consumer experience confirms gasoline emits similar or lower to the TDI.
Air versus early Axer. Okay, hang on.
Yeah, dude. Thought that even though low lead diesel had more lead than desired, bad for brain development and generally disliked.
Is that any better, Xer?
Wait, what was the statement?
Much better. Okay.
Just now,
No problem.
low lead diesel has more lead than is desired.
Low lead diesel.
Yeah, I thought fuels were all lead free now, but maybe not. Heard that UK residential areas are banning diesel for some reason or other. I think it's because of emissions.
It's probably for emissions, and a lot of them are louder motors.
True.
California bullied Ford into not making a motor anymore because of noise levels.
Unleaded gas is, but don't know about diesel. Yeah, I'm not sure either.
Diesel, it's low sulfur, and yeah, it's still higher than people want it to be. The sulfur problem was what was causing the massive amounts of carbon monoxide and dioxide to be formed.
Also, hi, Jigga. Oh, you got the rare third option for my bot response.
What's the percentage on that one?
They're actually all the same, it's just I rarely see it.
33 and a third?
Yeah. Of course, the Jigga's the only one that ever triggers it. It's his own personal greeting.
Collectively, diesel standards reduce harmful emissions from both on-road and off-road by more than 90%. Compression combustion engines. Here it is, 2006. To phase in more stringent regulations to lower the amount of sulfur in diesel fuel to 15 parts per million.
That's really low.
Diesel fuel contained as much as 5,000 parts per million. And in 93, they began regulating. In 2006, they had it down to 15 parts per million. So, pretty significant drop. This diesel, though, is not run in major commercial ships. So, the guys that are going through, 10 to 15,000 pounds, because they don't bother measuring volume at that point.
The really high usages can do whatever they want.
Yeah, it's
Funny,
that
isn't it?
whole, like, okay, whatever it takes to make the buck thing that happens so much in America. What am I colliding with? The Ropa. How am I colliding with the Ropa? It's in the bay next to me. Yeah.
Whoops.
Let's see here. Environmental impact comparison.
Oh, God, I'm an idiot. Okay, never mind. I turn cruise on, and then I go to move, and it would stop. Did it like 3 times. Like, what am I doing wrong? My hands were one key over, so me turning was pressing S.
Nice.
So, when you factor in the reliability and maintenance costs of the diesel engine, you start running into things like it might not be the engine that diesel engines that you spark. That's yeah. Where is it? Lower operating costs, more reliable engine. Requires less. You. Interest here. And read. This is why they tell you not to text and drive, kids. Just say. Oh no. Am I gonna make it? No. So, finish this part up. Thank you. So,
Bye bye.
really? Really? 1,200 horsepower done in by a freaking little.
You got no torque.
No. Alright, screw it. I'm just gonna read this. The diesel engine can also usually run twice as long as the gasoline engine before demanding serious services. Some Mercedes-Benz diesels have logged a whopping 900,000 miles. Because diesel engines are more efficient, they do in fact emit less carbon dioxide than gasoline engines. Diesel fuel contains about 12% more energy per gallon than ordinary gasoline, about 16% more energy than gasoline that contains ethanol. In some respects, the newer diesel engines are actually cleaner than gasoline engines, and their visible emissions are less dangerous than the invisible ones sneaking out of gas engines, according to a new study published in Scientific Reports that was carried out by Canadian, European, and US scientists. Unlike older diesel engines, the newer ones are equipped with diesel particulate filters to trap most of the obnoxious particle matter. However, the amount of nitrogen oxide emitted from diesel remains a problem, and that's why the ultra low sulfur.
Most of the last sentence, I missed it, and that's why.
Nitrogen oxide emitted from diesel remains to be a problem.
Okay.
And that's where, like, okay, so you've got like a cargo ship out in the middle of the Atlantic, and it's chugging along, right? And it's burning the not clean diesel, which it's kind of an oxymoron to say clean diesel, but anyways.
Clean coal. Woo.
Isn't nitrogen oxide the stuff they use in movies to make your car go fast? Nitrous oxide.
Yeah.
Nos.
Yeah.
It's laughing gas.
And it used to be the aerosol in whipped cream.
I think it still is.
It's a refrigerant now.
It's a
Yeah.
propellant, isn't it?
Well, I mean, if you hit it hard enough, it'll propel itself across the room.
You hit anything hard enough and it becomes a propellant. Anyways, I thought they took it out because of the occurrence of people abusing it.
Again,
Last I
probably.
looked, which was like 2 or 3 years ago, it was still in it.
Oh my god, fine, I'll look it up. God, you too.
I mean, I got extra toilet paper rolls if you need me to pay for this.
Jigga said it is still in it. Finished my whipped cream bottle the other day. Yeah, it says it right on there. What's in it?
Yeah, now I'm kind of curious. Dual opposed piston engines. An opposed piston engine. Yeah, Fairbanks Morris, 1914 Simpsons Balance.
Hey, Abby.
What's up?
According to this article, in case you didn't know, nitrous oxide comprises itself of 2 parts nitrogen, 1 part oxygen. In case you weren't aware.
So then what's nitrogen oxide?
I just said it.
You said nitrous oxide. Nitrogen oxide is more.
You know what I mean. Quit being pedantic.
Well, no, I was saying, like, I understand what you're saying. Well, then what was that article saying?
Nitrous oxide comprises two nitrogen particles joined to an oxygen iota, the last of which permits the nitrogen molecules to piggyback their way into the blood of the buyer. Yeah, still a thing.
Frickin' whippets.
They must not be dangerous enough to remove them.
Wait, what? Oh, that's why they use it.
What?
To make the cream fluffy.
That's it.
That's it.
I mean, it's like nitrous cold brew, right? Like they put the nitrogen in for the tiny bubbles.
Because it apparently helps puff up the milk fat. That's why they use it.
So there was this really cool article I read in undergrad, and I was doing my psych degree in undergrad. The whole reason we don't use coal gas, which I didn't even know was a thing, in our homes is because it was a thing in England, and because it's so much more lethal than regular natural gas or propane or kerosene fume, they had to stop using it because people putting their head in the oven was becoming more successful. I was like, what? Hold up. Time out. I need an adult or adult. Somebody explain this to me. And yeah, it's this gas that escapes from some process for coal, and they collected it and found out that it was incredibly flammable.
Yeah.
And also turned out to be incredibly lethal.
And I live next to a plant that manages coal gas. I've ridden on the cars that go to those stations.
I was just gonna say what?
They were called, they were tanker cars of a certain type of sulfur, and they were called hot cars.
Wow.
The spotting stations were called molten sulfur, North Coal, and South Coal. But they were literally hot cars. Like, you could put your hand on the side of the tanker and it would be warm in the middle of winter.
Used to be a lot of tankers that would haul hot oil, like tar and hot crude, from transfer stations to like holding cell, holding stations. And it could be minus 18 outside, blowing snow sideways. There wouldn't be snow built up on those tanks. It just stayed warm for hours.
I want to tell Abby to read his chat. I answered the difference in NOx there. There you go. Read your chat, Abaddon.
NOx usually refers to nitric oxide NO and nitrogen oxide NO2, not N2O. Yeah, I said that like a little bit ago. I even sent Kremlin a picture of it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it's in your DMs.
You didn't tell me.
We were talking about stuff. I was gonna wait for the opportune time. There it was.
You ever get the feeling you need a third monitor? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Streamer
Hey.
I
problems.
have one.
I miss having one. Desk first, monitor second.
Yeah. House first.
Steering wheel third.
Salt over. House first. You gonna have a Lowe's or Home Depot nearby you once you move, Salt?
I haven't checked. I'm sure it's a city. I'm sure there is one. I just don't know how close it is.
Well, I will be more than happy to send you the parts that I'm using for my desk to you. I'll send you some links if you want to go the same route.
Yeah, I've been trying to look into desks, and like they are stupidly expensive.
It's
unless you want
cheaper.
particle
It is
board.
literally cheaper to build your own.
Yeah.
It's like $400 for all that I'm getting, and it's 3 things, not including varnish, of course, but you know. And it's weird too because like particle board cabinets, which is what what it's going to set on, are more
Yeah.
expensive than if I got unfinished oak cabinets.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. It's like $100 for a particle board cabinet, and an unfinished oak one's like 60.
And just get the oak one then. Finish it.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
2 of them. I have so much room for activities.
Yeah, I'll probably see if around town somewhere there's like a more handmade wood place, you know.
Oh, you don't want to go
I'll
crazy, so
Not a hardware store.
you don't want to go crazy.
No, I don't want to go crazy. I just want to see what's available.
I was pricing real wood for like small projects, and I was gonna do some like pen cases. They wanted $75 for like I think it was like 18-inch by 18-inch by 2-inch of this chunk of wood. And I was just like, what?
It's a lot
And
of money.
Read about it, and it's like, oh, this is a chunk of laminated driftwood. I was like, hold up. Hold up. I live right next to the beach. I'll be right back. Went down there and looked, and like, there's giant chunks of driftwood just sitting out on the beach. I'm like, I could be a millionaire.
Just laminate it. Good to go.
Yeah, so glue lam is where they take and they cut uniform style slats of wood, and then they take an adhesive and they press the board together to make the 18-inch by 18-inch conglomerate or amalgamation.
Homunculus.
Wait. Aggregate? No.
Colloid?
You're talking about like the layered wood that they make, right?
Yeah, like
Which
it's
is
a, you see it a
little
lot.
bit better than, oh, I'm not gonna be the train. Ooh.
It's what you see a lot of the times used for like cutting boards, like real wood
Yeah.
cutting boards, bowling alleys. But bowling alleys like that's like, wow.
That's the thing you mean.
Huh?
The stuff that'll make you fall on your ass.
Well, that's just wax.
Yeah, that's just wax. No, the bowling alley thickness is like crazy.
Well, it has to be to withstand 20-pound balls dropped from 6 feet high. People are stupid, right?
Yeah. So, yeah, glue laminate boards are where they take like usually it's just trash pieces of lumber, like they were gonna throw them away anyways,
Mhm.
and they put them together, and then they charge you more than the glue and the wood, and like paying some schmuck to do it combined per foot. Like it's ridiculous. God, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I looked into it for the pen cases, right? Like I was supposed to get married, and I was gonna get like these little like pen cases for the cufflinks and tie tacks and everything to be stored in, and they wanted like I think each box was like $80, and I was just like, I'm pretty handy. I'm gonna take a cheap route. It's gonna give me something to do for the summer, and I was gonna make the cases for the groomsmen's gifts, and it was basically making a pen box. And well, glad I didn't, because that stuff was expensive. And yeah, people are really proud of their wood products, and I'm like, but it's wood. Like,
yeah. You didn't make that.
right? Like that's a tree carcass. You're trying to. It's not even like a vicious tree.
Trees are the enemy.
Have you played Factorio?
Play
The one
Valheim.
true foe. Oh yeah, Valheim.
Not only are trees the foes, they hit back.
Yeah. And they'll chase you downhill to get you too.
Real wood warps over time if not coated properly. Don't go cheap there. Well, yeah, we I think we all kind of know that, Axer.
Yeah. Kind of why
Or
my
just
family.
go really cheap so it doesn't hurt to buy a new one every 3 years.
Bamboo.
Bamboo's great.
Yep.
Makes good spears. So I've heard.
I'm gonna have to see some empirical testing.
Okay, let me get my grandfather on the phone and he can tell you about pudgy sticks.
Yeah. Those, yeah.
He's got the scars to prove it.
Where are we done grabbing everything out of the field?
Yep. All done.
How much we got in that bunker?
Don't know. I'm gonna go over and grab the shovel and start pushing more into it.
We have F1. 776k. Oh nope, it's going up.
Yeah, there's some outside opposition.
I'm gonna say close to 800k.
Close to 800. We still have the grass around the front and everything else to mow, don't we? Or are we
Yes,
done
sir.
mowing? Is that how we're feeling? We're done mowing?
We're literally done mowing. There's nothing else to mow.
Yeah, I thought that was it.
Yeah, the stuff around 9's growing.
Oh, okay.
Oh, kitty pets. Speaking of mowing, I got to get that grass. Sorry about that, son.
Thanks for that. Getting kind of long.
You can throw that in the bunker when you get done.
Hi,
Yep. Well, okay. I thought you were grabbing the wheel loader.
Nope.
You know, we could. Never mind.
So you know this little piece over here that we thought was grass on the ground?
Yeah.
It's not. It's
What
the
is
ground
it?
texture.
Nice.
Oh. Well, I'm gonna go turn into a poop angel real quick.
Poop angel.
That's all.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and knock out our fields without having to pay a penny for it.
Both the buddy tanks are full.
I'll be through those in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, probably.
But hey, we don't have to pay for it. I mean, there's also that manure spreader over there.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of manure though.
See, if I could find more music like this, it'd be amazing.
Or music like what?
Cell Dweller, A Matter of Time.
I wouldn't know. I'm not listening to Pretzel. It's kind of nice, not gonna lie.
I actually listen to a lot of Cell Dweller stuff. I like the sound.
I'll be here if you need me, Salt.
Just go on circles.
Compacting.
Mm-hmm. Get up on top of the pile, turn in circles. It counts.
Yep. I'm gonna make people on stream sick, though.
Yeah. You just need to rotate your camera the same speed you're rotating your vehicle.
It is.
In the opposite direction. Yep.
I mean, like, so your camera doesn't move.
Oh.
Much easier with a controller.
Yep.
I'm kind of surprised keyboards don't have analog switches yet these days.
You know.
To control,
Okay.
like, key repeat rate or something.
Oh.
But then you can also use it in games.
Some of them have turning knobs.
Turning knobs.
Yeah, opposite turn.
No, that makes sense. I get you.
We understood what you were saying. We just
You get me a better term, and I'll start calling them by that. That's the best thing I can come up with on the spot. Turning knobs.
dials.
No, not really dials, because when I think dial, I think like old school
Like
box
volume control?
like a box television on an old set with the knobs that
Mhm.
every time they have a really nice hard click to them.
Mhm.
That's what I'm thinking of when I think dial.
What do you call the thing you twist to tune a radio?
That's
A
a
knob.
dial, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a knob.
It's a radio dial.
No, it's a knob.
Radio dial.
A knob
Yeah.
is a thing you use to open your cabinets.
Yeah.
No, that's a handle.
Knobs are for pulling,
Actually-
not rotating.
Yeah, actually, you both are wrong on that one. They're called a pull.
That's true, yeah, you're right.
They're called a what?
A pull.
Pull. Because you pull them.
You go to a biller and you ask him for a replacement drawer handle, and he's going to sell you a drawer pull.
Axel's got it right. It's a potentiometer. Yeah, a pot. Yeah, pots. Yeah. He's got it. Pot.
Knob's my neighbor? Okay, no.
Isn't that the volume control? See, I recognize the term pot because one of my guitars has push-pull pots on it. To switch it between, oh god, humbuckers and single coils. I saw.
I'll spin with you.
Okay.
Whee!
I know what he said was English, but I didn't understand a single thing.
Oh. You what? Symbol?
I know what he said was English, but I didn't understand a single thing of it.
Ew.
Which part?
When he said the push-pull part thing, something
Yeah,
or
the
other.
push-pull pots.
Mm-hmm.
It's a knob on my guitar. It changes the pickups from single coil to humbuckers, or vice versa.
Uh-huh.
When the knob is down in the non-pulled position, it acts as a humbucker, and then when I pull it, it turns it into a single coil, similar to like a Telecaster.
Music
There's
is great.
What are you talking about?
So, it's not that like I couldn't understand what you were saying. It's that I don't understand what you're saying because I don't have enough information, like a background in music equipment.
Mhm.
So, what is a humbucker other than something that you don't want to have happen to you?
Have you ever heard the name Les Paul before?
Paul.
No, that is not Les Paul, Abby.
That,
Les Paul.
that's what
Have
I'm
you ever
saying.
heard the name Les Paul before?
Is
Sure.
it French? Like the Paul?
No.
Ooh,
It's a
does
guy-
that mean that
it was a
Des
man.
Moines?
Oh my god. Okay, guy by the name of Les Paul invented humbucker pickups. Okay. Humbucker pickups. All pickups on guitars operate with magnets, right?
Yeah.
They're electromagnets. The string disrupts the magnetic field, i.e. sound.
Okay.
Alright. So, single coil means what if I told you it was an electromagnet?
One single piece of copper coiled around itself.
And if I told you it was a humbucker and you swap between them, that generally means you're going from single coil to dual coil. Or double coil,
Why
whichever
don't
you
they
prefer.
just call 'em dual coil?
Because the term is humbucker.
It's like something you do involuntary.
You got a problem with it, you can dig up Les Paul and try to interrogate him, okay?
I don't have a problem with it. This is the funniest thing I've heard all day.
Ajiga asks if this game requires crushing of the grapes,
Crushing of the grass petals.
and I think an alcohol mod would be very funny.
Your camera just starts swaying back and forth.
You have to like harvest the grapes and then crush them.
Bah
There's-
humbuckers. No.
And
No. Is that a bah of disgust?
no, he's like
I know what he's talking about.
No, you get it. He's Scrooging it.
Oh, this is the best thing ever.
iPhone of guitars. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Les Pauls myself. I think they're too heavy. I had one for a bit and I just didn't like it.
So
Isn't
how
that
does
weird?
that work with an acoustic guitar then?
Acoustic guitars don't have pickups generally, or they have acoustic style pickups. Which, if it's a hollow body acoustic, ones that typically have the sound hole in them, the pickup
Okay.
itself is inside that sound hole.
And then it's just like a microphone, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because acoustic strings are copper wound versus nickel round of electric guitars. And sometimes even nylon. Of course, then you can't really use a pickup. It just has to be a microphone.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's right. I'm educating you, bud. Never thought you'd see that coming, did you?
Thought
I
Kremlin
watched
drove
kids from
circles.
Scandinavia play a rawhide string guitar.
Yeah.
It was really awesome sounding.
Mm-hmm.
It had like 4 strings, and this guy was just like reefing on the strings. And I was just like, those things are already under tension. Are you really sure you want to do that? I mean, like, your face is right there.
It's like a
Insert
violin.
You said it was rawhide, or was it pig swan sinew?
I don't know. I know that it was a thick white monofilament cord, though.
Probably sinew. Insert guitar solo. Yeah. But no stairway, please. Denied.
So Ajiga, once we've finished smooshing this down and it's all nice and flat like it is right now, we drive out of here and cover it with a white tarp and wait for it to ferment.
Yep.
And then it becomes basically poop.
Yep. Not really, though.
It's the same thing that cows produce.
No, cows produce manure.
It's essentially the same.
No.
It's just digested grass.
No. Oh, hi,
Yeah.
cow butt.
That was a shock. How's fertilizing going?
I heard Sauron talk to me for a moment.
Going about 15 kilometers an hour, back and forth.
You got a lot more to do.
Yep. Thankfully, there's a crosswind, so I ain't gotta smell this all day.
How much more do you think you can do with that?
What do you mean?
With your amount of liquid you have?
I could probably get a stripe and a half done.
Oh, okay. I'll go fill up one of these other tankers and bring it to you.
I got a full tanker down here with me.
But you're gonna need more, right?
Oh yeah.
Hey, Salt,
Yeah.
how would you feel if cat gets in your lap, or, you know, laying on your chest, you're in the bed, stands up, see the Eye of Sauron, and then
Oh, no.
suddenly all you hear is black speech, and he's starting to get freaked out?
Quick, take off the ring. It can see you.
Next thing you know, Nazgul bursts through the door.
No. I'm having issues with this thing. Can't back up today. There we go.
Well, the other buddy tank is on the semi down here. So
We have 800,000. That's the max, isn't it? We're wasting some of them. Can we get a silo that holds this stuff?
No.
We don't
Can
get
we
like
put
a
it
liquid
in-
tank.
We need to get like
We have-
tankers for it.
Yeah, we have to get tankers for it, which
Oh.
they're not too expensive. It's just that they take up a slot, so it's not exactly expensive.
What do you mean take up a slot?
So there's no thingy to tell you that you can't do this. But there's an invisible counter in the back. I think it's like, I want to say it's 255 vehicles.
Oh.
I thought that was on console.
That's 200, and they actually give you a little thing to know that by. So, wait, yeah, I think that is on console. Actually, I think you're right. Yeah.
I'll check.
Well, one of the things I know of is that like you eventually get to the point where you're trying to process so much that the game just cannot run.
I'm here, Abby.
Hi, friend. I
I'm
just-
here. I know, I'm here.
Amazing.
Results
kind of
unclear. Too much mod hub. Oh, favorite kind of cookie?
Close enough?
Yes.
Yeah.
White chocolate macadamia.
Huh? What are you talking about?
What's your
Favorite
favorite kind of cookie?
Oh.
Yeah.
Who asked the question? I missed it.
Abby.
I asked the question.
Oh. Okay.
Salt, do you have a favorite kind of cookie?
Probably.
Salt, do you eat cookies?
I not often. I try not to because they're very bad for you.
Salt,
have no
everything's
real
bad for
value.
you.
Huh?
Salt, everything's bad for you.
Not everything.
Say that again, King Carcinogen.
Where do you live again? what state is that again?
Cooked is bad for you.
What?
Cookies are baked.
Huh? Bait?
Yes, cookies get baked.
Yes. They do.
Unless they're no-bake cookies.
Alright, so come on. Analytic your way out of this. I'm listening.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm not following what you're trying to say.
You
I'm
said-
asking what your personal preference on dessert pastry is in the realm of cookies. Salt, what is your preference? If you had to choose from all the cookies out there, what kind of a cookie do you like the most?
I'm gonna say it's a tie between chocolate chip, just plain old chocolate chip, and Thin Mints, like Girl Scout Thin Mints, or People are grasshoppers. Same idea.
Ugh. Mm-mm. 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 Mm-mm.
All right, yeah, hang
Mm-mm.
on a second. We're gonna get back to the cookies are bad for you. All right, my mom told me that too, but it was for a completely different reason. All right, so now I need the salt reason. Why are cookies bad for me?
Oh, because they have a lot of sugar. That's all.
That's my mom's reason.
Yeah.
You have to come up with your own.
Well, Kremlin's joke was that everything is cancer, and I was like, yes, that is true.
Right. I hate to break it to everybody, but like sitting in your house is killing you.
Yes, it is.
The
But sitting outside would be worse.
sitting what?
Sitting outside would be worse.
No.
Melanoma.
Outside is pretty healthy for you.
Melanoma.
Steve. I mean, as humans, we need shelter.
Yeah, we don't have a coat to insulate us.
It's bad for you for a different reason. Not so much cancer, but, you know, other types of survivability.
Some would like to have a word about that.
It's really easy to avoid sun.
Having been not paralyzed, sorry, hospitalized for sunburn. I've already spoken to the son about it, and we've come to terms with the fact that I don't care.
Mm-mm. You think you're better than the sun?
No, I know it can kick my ass. That's not gonna keep me from snorkeling for 12 hours.
It's not just the fact that it'll kick your ass, it's the fact that it'll kick your ass and you won't find out till 7 minutes later.
Just ran out. I need to back up though. There we go.
You can't refill that, can you? Okay, let me go fix. I go this way, and
Yep,
this
and then
way.
just back up to that center gray thing. Like the center repair.
Loop right in there. Bonk.
There you go. I got sunburned so bad, the military sent me to the hospital. And I got told that if it happened again, I'd be charged with 2 counts of destruction of government property.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Was this before or after the shark bite?
Before, I think. Yeah, before.
Wait, why 2 counts?
The first time I got sunburned and the second time I got sunburned.
They would retroactively charge you
Mm-hmm.
because they decided that you did it on purpose after the second time.
Yeah. Well, and okay, so destruction of government property, failure to follow lawful order, and being missing in movement because I'd be at the hospital, not at my appointed duty station.
So how does it feel as a person being something's property? Isn't that slavery? Voluntary slavery?
I signed away my first, second, third, and fifth amendment, right? When I joined the military, it's all in your enlistment contract.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Did you do it for the money?
What money?
That's a good joke.
You get paid less than a third of what a McDonald's burger flipper makes.
But they pay for your college, right?
Okay. You have to serve more than 3 years. You have to get an honorable discharge, and you buy into it.
So, if you didn't do it for the money, you did it for the love of the country?
I'm gonna go with no on that, dog.
Yeah, that's exactly what.
For
Yeah.
for For why?
I was 19, sitting in my mother's basement, and had no plans and no college prospects.
So you choose to sell your life instead for not much
Gave me an
money?
appreciation for my ability to be able to tell you to go stuff it. Literally couldn't do it in the military. You could not accost a civilian.
Did you do you gain your rights back after you leave?
5 years after, yes.
But they can still call you in whenever they want to, can't they?
No,
Oh, you're not in the reserves, so they can't.
I'm not in the reserves, and I am a disabled veteran. So I do not go back. Period.
Remember?
Right.
Remember the whole job thing?
Oh, I know that.
Not really on the table for it.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm going to pull off into the road here because I'm not sure if I destroy the crops in the second field.
We
So
should.
look when you get to the road. They're big boys over there now.
They're stage 1. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you can still fill up in the road.
Okay.
I will not be blamed for missing a corner. Wait, you didn't stop.
I didn't. I shut the machine off, but I. Dang it.
Salt did it.
Yep, Salt did it.
Oh man.
But to answer your question, the entire reason I joined is that, like, I was raised in a service family, basically. So it was just what was kind of combat. My mom was an Army brat. My stepdad was Navy. I joined the Navy. I did really well on my tests for placement, job placement, and they were just like, "Oh, well, you know, there's this thing," and I was just like, "Hooray!" And so I signed the paperwork. Got a 2-year degree in engineering in 9 months, which was fantastic and useless. Then went off to do great big silly things in the service. Like get bit by a shark, scream like a little girl, and walk on water.
In front of an attractive woman.
Very, 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 very.
It's a lot of berries.
Anyways, yeah, so I enjoyed. It sucked. I'll say that right now. It sucked.
Yeah. I mean, I never went in there, but I could tell you right now, it would probably suck to do it. I don't need to go in to know that.
What was
Lucky you never went into combat.
Yeah, yeah.
It was ingrained
Defining-
into my head at a very early age not to do that. So,
To get into combat or to go into the service?
to join the military. So, yeah.
The thing that got me about the whole military experience, it had to deal with, like, when they started violating terms and conditions of people's enlistment contracts, because there are things in the contract that the military cannot, absolutely will not cross. And a buddy of mine from boot camp or A school, I think boot camp, yeah, boot camp, was some kind of like Pacific Island heritage culture, and I'm not trying to speak ill about this. Okay, like this is, if anything, this is more of a bad on the military for not acknowledging the religious practices of this individual. His family were traditional headhunters. Like that's what the culture was. It was a headhunting culture, and tattoos and stuff like that. And I actually had the pleasure of meeting his grandmother and realizing that she had one of the tattoos that said that she took the head of a foe in combat. So it's kind of a badass woman. But they forbid taking trophies. Well, that's a violation of his religious practices. And one of the things that we were fighting was fighting for was the right to religious freedom. So it then became a contradiction. He said, hey, you guys can either acknowledge that this is my religious right, or you can discharge me. They discharged him. They didn't want to deal with it at all because there's evidently a whole geopolitical something or other that goes into that. I guess nobody really looks fondly at collecting the head of your foe in combat anymore.
Where would you store them all?
Seems kind of metal.
They keep them in their house.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have a lot of them.
It's pretty metal.
So many foes.
Okay, so a little bit more about why he was getting discharged is that he actually went through and followed through with his religious right.
Good for him.
Yeah, pretty metal.
Right. Yeah. So like, I don't know what the different types of tattoo are. I don't know what the different circumstances are. Non-combat duty. There's no such thing as non-combat duty. There are guys that they will send into combat and not give a gun because it's just cost effective. They're conscientious objectors, but they can stop a bullet. Yeah. And it's expensive to do it that way. Just saying. It's about $475,000 a bullet. So like, I was going home. I was going with him home. Sorry. For this tattooing ceremony thing because it's a big deal in their culture. And I was just like, I've never been there before. And he's like, oh, well, I'm going there now. And I was like, oh, I'll get a plane ticket. All good. And I went. And all of the heads of the foes that were gathered in combat are kept in the same place for the
Wait a
family.
minute. Who's getting gas right now?
I'm refilling the gas tank.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Continue.
So, can I get a refill? When you get done, Salt?
Oh, I thought you were done. Yeah.
Oh,
I'll
I'm
come.
doing our second tier.
Okay, I'll come get you in a moment. As soon as this tank fills up, it's. Can I just leave it here?
Yes.
It's filling up if I leave. Nice. Okay. I hope nobody steals my nozzle.
You're a juggler. What are you worried about?
I'm a juggler? What does that mean? Are you talking to me?
I don't think so.
I didn't think I was a juggler.
Drug Lord.
Oh, I heard juggler.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, no one's gonna steal from me, you're right. Aw, someone's already got you a big purple pen.
We wouldn't end up in combat, but I don't know much about military structure. You are correct. There are a lot of admin and staff positions, but the expectation is that every soldier is a soldier, and like every Marine is a rifleman before is a Marine before he is what his job is. Every grunt is a rifleman before he is what his job is. And every sailor is a sailor before he is what his job is. And that's just the expectation. And I don't think the Air Force really does much. Jab at my brother there. The big thing is that like if they want somebody who's going to be a non-combatant, they'll get a civilian to do it. The life payout and all that other fun stuff for like a maimed civilian is a lot less than somebody who's in the contract of this one.
That's messed up.
So I think, yeah, okay, so a civilian pays into a life insurance policy, right?
Mm-hmm.
The SGLI, service group life insurance is $475,000 paid out to any service member who dies in combat, and that's taxpayer money. So instead of it being a corporation that can gather this from somebody else, that's straight taxpayer money. The SGLI also covers things like I lost an arm. I did not lose an arm. Okay, it's that, for instance, like if somebody's permanently maimed. The VA is also budgeted to pay out for disability. So that's all federal expense, right? There's state programs and other federal programs that are there to pay for like workman's comp related claims. I don't know how you would file a gunshot wound on workman's comp though. It sounds like it'd be very tricky. So yeah, in those positions and roles where the person is strictly non-combatant, they prefer to hire civilian because it is cheaper than hiring a service member to do it. There. Shoot, I got in trouble. Yeah, I got in trouble for responding to a fire alarm the wrong way. Fire alarm went off, and I thought, okay, I need a CO2 extinguisher and a fire hose, right? Because that's what it was on the submarine. We weren't only the operators, we were the rescue team. Because I mean, it's not like we could dial 911 for help. You're fine to drive through this salt.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you look at the tires on the trailer I'm towing, and look at the tires on your trailer.
I got tiny little tires.
Here, I'll just fill up right here.
Okay.
Oh, you'll drive through that other guy's field, but not through ours. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
I learn from the best.
You talking about Jen?
Yeah.
I just remember back when we first started doing this, the tire streaks just went all the way through the center of the field.
Haven't you noticed how nicely we cultivated field 2 and 3?
I noticed.
No. Can I transfer from one of these purple things to the other?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. It is submerged in water, but there's an air bubble, and inside that air bubble was us.
It's not just any air bubble. It's oxygen rich.
Mm-hmm.
Fire likes oxygen.
It's not oxygen rich.
Fire likes oxygen, Abby.
Fire, yeah, likes oxygen. It is not oxygen rich.
Enough for you to live.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can't just get new air. I mean, we did have a way to like get like CO2 and stuff out, but it's like, yikes.
Was that a bubble?
Yeah, do they like resurface every now and then to refill air?
Yes and no. I mean, they can. They don't have to.
Or do they use purifiers?
Down the water.
They're
turn CO2 into oxygen, but you could capture the water.
Trap. So what we did it in 3 different ways. There was a chemical reaction that we would use that turned a substance into oxygen and some other stuff, and our air filtration plants would take that stuff out. There were baths of chemicals that we could use to take CO2 and other toxicants out. And then there was a machine that nobody ever wanted actually to run because the technicians lovingly called it a hydrogen bomb, and they weren't wrong. We would generate O2 and O3 from pure water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And leave hydrogen behind.
Right. Yeah. And hydrogen, while it's not exactly flammable, it's just very reactive. Technically, it's a catalyst. So, you know, kaboom. Anyways. and like, there's some other stuff that we did, but typically speaking, the atmospheres in the boat would be, like... Hang on, I gotta look something.
Could they use that hydrogen they extracted for fuel? Or is that just too much work?
Nothing. The whole boat was built in '96.
Oh, that's a new one.
Yeah, and it didn't have anything that used that. We just kind of bubbled it over.
I mean, you could even like use that in the kitchen to cook with or something.
We didn't let the cooks have anything. Yeah.
So they weren't cooks.
Well, they were in the sense that they could use an electric griddle.
Okay.
But we weren't going to give them fire because we wanted to live.
You could still do bad with an electric griddle.
Let me see if I can do this. Yeah. So, I can actually talk about this.
Okay.
All right.
That's fine.
So,
Is that close enough?
yes. So the atmospheres inside the submarine we're typically oxygen deficient, and only our emergency response gear would actually provide at proper limit oxygen, and it's because we needed to conserve it. So, yes, every so often, that part I can't say, we do exchange atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
And it come up, we use a really big fan, we blow out the whole submarine, and then we go back down. And we take that trapped volume of air and we do as much cleaning to it as we can. It is one of the ways that we can operate for so long without needing to like pause to take care of us. And it's kind of cool. Like, I thought it was really nifty. But like, one day we woke up and the atmosphere reader was saying 14, which means that there was 14% oxygen, and a bunch of people were getting hurt, and our captain was very not happy because, yeah, that's not good. 14% oxygen will actually cause you to have, like, you feel high. Yeah, 10K feet, yeah. So the part of when somebody says that, okay. When somebody says that a submarine is nuclear powered, the main propulsion system and the majority of its support systems are reliant on a nuclear reactor. Yeah, normal atmosphere is about 21 to 22, and you would spend months at like 18, 16. You get kind of used to it. It's not something that happens like immediately. Say again.
People get headaches a lot.
Yes. Your sleep schedule gets forked. Because you'll be like awake, and then something will happen, and you'll have no problem staying awake until it's done, and then your body goes, okay, our internal stores of oxygen are depleted. We go on night. And that was something else that we did. Is a large portion of the crew was required to be asleep at specific moments so that we could conserve oxygen. Ozone, O2, what else? Nuclear power. Oh yeah, so like the main propulsion and the main electric generation comes from nuclear power. The difference between a nuclear powered reactor, even like a shore reactor, right? Like a power plant you see in like Missouri or something like that, and a diesel fired gas turbine plant, a diesel fired steam turbine plant, is just the hot rock makes water hot, and then we use water hot to make hot water steam. And a lot of the systems nowadays, you have two different loops, one that touches the rock and one that doesn't. It touches a metal plate that touches the water that touches the hot rock, and we transfer energy that way. So that's all the nuclear power means. No.
Right. I mean, that's how nuclear plants on land work too, isn't it? It's all steam.
Yes, it's all steam. There are a couple plants out there that don't operate on steam. A couple of them are very popular plants, like Chernobyl. The reason why we in America use water is for something called the negative coefficient for reactivity. Not gonna get too into it, but
Do you overdo it a little bit, Duke? Is that what happened?
Yeah, nuclear power 101 right there. Sorry, but yeah, no, the military was like, we own you. If something bad happens, we're just going to pay you for the rest of your life. I was on the submarine with a guy who was allergic to the chemical we used to scrub the CO2 from the air. And because of where we were and what we were doing, it was a week before we could get him off the submarine. Chernobyl did not run a steam turbine now. Not in a traditional sense. I mean, it did have a primary and secondary loop, and yes, there was a water-cooled system. The negative temperature coefficient of reactivity is a property of water-cooled reactors. Any moderator that can change state before...
The chat's not on screen? It's not?
God, what's it called? Before critical temperature? We'll have a pretty close to almost all the time. Well, it will have a negative temperature coefficient of reactivity. Chernobyl did not have one. It had a positive. So the hotter it got, the better the graphite worked within the primary loop. so on and so forth. Do you guys want me to mute this to answer these questions?
No, it's interesting.
Okay. I wasn't sure if like you guys were just being polite and let me ramble on about this stuff. I mean,
Are you
that
done
is
with your poop?
over there. Yes, I gotta go do 19.
Okay, I will meet you over there.
Chernobyl did have a steam turbine. Yeah. Like, I don't think there's anything out there that doesn't use water steam conversion. I mean, there might be like a couple of like laboratory plants that might use another medium for their secondary loop, but like
Yeah, I think it's just an issue with Streamlabs, Duke, because the URL for the widget hasn't changed. So I'm pretty sure that's just what it is. There isn't really anything I can do about it. Thanks for letting me know, though.
right. They are Steam because Steam is something that we know to be pretty relatively safe in the grand scheme of things. So that in the event of a leak, we're not, cordoning off Iowa or something like that. Swimming pool reactors are probably about the only time you're going to actually see nuclear fission occur. Swimming pool reactors are open to the atmosphere. Yes and no.
Some dirty water.
Soapy water. So how do I put this? A pinhole rupture in any of the steam lines in the main coolant loop. Not main coolant, sorry. The main steam loop. You wouldn't hear it. You wouldn't see it. You would see droplets of water on the outside of the submarine if you happen inside the submarine. And you wouldn't walk anywhere near it because it can laser through you at about 12 feet. And the cool thing is that, like, as it cuts you, it cauterizes. So, like...
No bleeding.
Right, just straight system trauma. Like, you don't even get the awesome lightheadedness of blood loss to help with the pain. The other thing it did is it would cause like gas pockets inside your body. I can't remember what they're called. I think it's like an embolism or something like that.
Gabby, what happened to our field there?
Our field where?
There's weird line marks through it. Oh, that's not our field. Never mind. That's the other field that got weirdly plowed.
Somebody might have been falling asleep with Cedar, okay?
I mean, that looked like the plow
Presuming
lines.
it's not a leak of coolant water. Right. So, coolant water... There's a compartment, and it's called the reactor compartment. Coolant water doesn't come out of that compartment. Shore plants, naval plants, there's a box that the reactor and all the water that touches the reactor stays in. And that's the only box that it's allowed to be in. I ran out halfway through the field.
Oh, I thought you'd make it back up.
I did too, but I had 13% left. So I'm going to fill up a little bit, back up, and then top off when I get back, okay?
Okay.
So like if there was a coolant leak, I hope we get needle juice too.
More
that's, I only got like, yeah, right about there. Let's back this up. There we go.
Oh yeah, you didn't make it very far at all.
So, shoot, what was? Oh, so if there was a leak from the primary coolant system, the first thing we would see is actually a shift in the secondary coolant chemistry. I've seen Beetlejuice. Don't even Michael Keaton. Yeah, I've seen that.
Hong Kong.
Uh-huh. And the secondary system would then become a containment barrier, and he wants to return as Beetlejuice. That'd be cool as shit, really. Yeah, and basically, like, there's a whole bunch of things. There was, I got in trouble, imagine that, because I was at an interview to qualify to operate the plant, and my hypothetical situation that I had to explain what I would do during was a very specific one where there pretty much was no protocol other than to prevent the reactor from melting down so that we could all live to paddle home, basically. And so there's this big valve, and it shuts off this large tank called a heat exchanger, and the heat exchanger is where the primary fluid, the fluid that touched the reactor, touched the secondary fluid, the fluid that didn't touch the reactor, and there was a little stub of pipe between the valve and that box that the reactor lives in. And the guy was like, okay, that chunk of pipe right there falls off. What do you do? And I was like, I lay down on the floor. And he's like, why? And I was like, we're standing right here. That's at this temperature, at this pressure. We're dead. Like, sorry, man. Lobsters have a higher survivability getting dropped into boiling water than we do standing right here if that happens. And I got reprimanded. Yep.
For being a smartass.
Yeah, imagine that. But I mean, like, come on. You want me to practice my responses to these situations as accurately to reality as possible? Dude, we're 4 feet away from this thing. It's at head height. That thing blows off. We're done. Like, I'll be dead before I even know something bad happens. Dead. So, yeah.
Do you at least get a kill cam so we can see what got you?
No. Sadly, there are no cameras allowed past a specific point.
That's the problem you had with my question.
Yeah, that's it. Still got 58% left, but I'm going to top up that way, just to know for sure. I think I probably finish this out. See, this series, go smarter every day. Where you went on board a nuclear sub recently? Got to ask all sorts of questions. I didn't actually. To be honest with you, I kind of quit paying attention. I don't know if that would interest you if you've been there, but so like a lot of the technology's changed, but I still don't know what is and is not safe to talk about. So
yeah,
I have to like
not
look up things. Like I know I can't talk about any of the numbers, like none whatsoever. And I'm not gonna push the issue. I'm not gonna be like, well, you know, it's around this hot. No. I like sunlight without prison bars in front of it.
I mean, we've all played Factorio. We know it's 1000 C. It's fine.
Right. That was the scene. Yeah. The melting point of what is that? Steel.
Yep.
And I'm like, you guys are running this through iron pipe. Okay.
Yep.
Way
Yep.
to go.
Don't worry, the heat pipes have copper in them too.
Yes. Well, yeah, because we use it as a conductor. Yeah, it seemed there were a lot of rules about what they could answer for him, and military had to review his footage first. Yes. When we came back from our tour of duty, so to speak, the only place the photographer could go freely was the pier up to a certain point, and then past that, we had to cover pieces of equipment that were on the pier so that they couldn't accidentally photograph them. Shoot. When I got my dolphins, when I got qualified to be a submariner, the entire event was filmed and photographed on Cruise Mess, where we eat, but we still had to take things and like cover them up and tape them off and everything. DOD and weapons testing or something probably had a secret clearance of some sort. Yeah, you have to have one to even set foot on the pier. Shoot, the guys that helped us load groceries had a confidential. Because the name of the submarine and where it is, and whether or not it is or isn't in port, is something that the government likes to keep to itself. We're not allowed to talk about our departure dates. We can tell our family that we'll be leaving soon, and then the day of, we can tell them, hey, today is the day. Weren't allowed to take pictures of where we lived. What else was the ridiculousness? Oh, the kind of car I drove in the military, I couldn't tell anybody I bought until after it was tagged, titled, taxed. Is anyone allowed to know what vessel you'll be on? Yes. So that yes, like I was on the Cheyenne, and I told my parents, hey, look, I got orders to Hawaii. I'll be on the Cheyenne. Couldn't post publicly about it, like on Facebook. Couldn't just run over there and be like, oh, this is where I'm going. No. I wasn't allowed to post publicly when I'd be on leave and flying home, or when I'd be returning from leave. Yeah, just a bunch of stuff. Like, basically, I couldn't tell anybody any specific date until the day of. And then I couldn't take a picture of the house I lived in or the car I drove. I got in trouble for a bodyboard because I painted my bodyboard. And took a picture of it.
What's a bodyboard?
It's like a surfboard, but you lay down on it. Like a boogie board.
Oh, okay.
I didn't understand its allure, and then I did it the first time, and I was like, this is amazing. And then the second or third time, the wave picked me up, took my bodyboard away, and slammed me against the sand underneath it. And I was back to where I was before the first time, not understanding why anybody did this. Oh, we weren't allowed to take pictures. Like, if you went to a park, right? Like a national park, and you were gonna hike a mountain, you couldn't take a picture of you. Take a picture and post a picture of you before you went up the mountain. Like, you had to be up the mountain and back down the mountain before you could take a picture. Ever seen a submarine? Who'd have thought? Every once in a while, I'll end up in Bremerton though, and maybe see a carrier. And every time, I'm dumbfounded by how big they are. Yes. I think it was 2012. Actually, gives you an idea of the scale of the Nimitz class carrier in comparison to the White House or the Capitol building. Sorry, it's the Capitol building. And not saying a submarine, well, that's kind of the point of submarines. You're not supposed to see it. Yes, it said something else about them before. I'm trying to see if I actually. Yeah, nope. Okay, cool. Wait a second. Here, I'm sorry.
Thanks, Brown.
I got you, bud.
Yeah, okay, there it is. So there is a YouTuber, his name is Scott Manley.
Fly safe.
Yes. He did a really good kind of surface level educational series on YouTube about things related to nuclear power and my tractor's gone.
Watched and serviced.
Oh, there's nothing. Oh, dang it. That was actually being helpful. Alright.
Can this tractor use this thing?
Can the blue tractor? No.
Okay, that's one of the big machines.
Yeah, that's one of the ones we gotta use over 500 with.
Okay.
There it is. Yeah. He actually talks about some stuff that I had to like really quickly read his transcript. So like the problem with the popular perception of nuclear power is that like the reactor going critical is a bad thing, and actually that's kind of where we want them when we're using them. It's just critical. Supercritical means that they're growing in power, and that's fine. Subcritical means that they're shrinking in power, and that's good too, because that means it's going night-night, and we can figure out how to wake it up afterwards. But, and this is what happened to Chernobyl, this is what happened to Idaho Falls, this is what happened to 3 Mile Island, and that's prompt criticality. And that's where, like, so there's a thing that happens that's kind of magic. Critical mass of neutrons, reactions going off to sustain itself. Right. So in nuclear power, actually in pretty much any subatomic physics, things can happen faster than time. there's a unit seconds to the -1 power. So inverse seconds. Prompt neutrons happen in inverse seconds, and like years later, according to subatomic particles, you get these delayed neutrons. We run the reactor on delayed neutrons because prompt neutrons are just like a camouflage. It doesn't really do much. Just kind of whoop. Unless the flash is bright enough to keep the reactor going for when the guys who are late to the party show up, in which case everything just goes to shit. And that's what happened to Chernobyl. That's kind of a little chunk at 3 Mile Island, and what happened at Idaho Falls. Prompt criticality, and just, yeah. Science is scary. What are we doing now, guys?
Plowing our field that needs to be plowed.
What field needs to be plowed?
The one above 6.
Oh,
Since we just harvested all the grass, it's a good time.
yeah.
That's why I grabbed the subsoiler.
Oh, we'll have to replant after you do that.
I know. But it says it needs it done, so I'm doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Or does grass not actually matter for that?
You go, you shining superstar. Yeah, grass doesn't need it.
Should we plant something else instead of grass since we moved grass over to 9 and eventually 20?
Yeah, actually we should.
Soybeans.
Don't say beets, don't say beets.
Soybeans.
Well, here's the problem. We're gonna need a root crop eventually.
Big eggs.
Soybeans does not pay as much as canola. Or
Turnips.
oats.
Turnips.
We do need to start getting some of these crops into the what's that big round thing I'm standing on? Silo. Inverse seconds would imply a measure of frequency. Yeah, except it's in the bottom part of the thing. Gosh. Let me find this. First. It's called a hertz. Shoot. Okay. I'm gonna type something in my chat real quick, and it's an equation. No, in this setting, you're talking about gosh, what is it?
How's it going, Kremlin?
Chilling out, you know.
Yeah.
Anything else for me to do right now?
Yeah, that's kind of why I started doing this.
Per this. One time per this. And so this is the rudimentary equation for prompt criticality. And T equals N-O K
Is that a terahertz? Yeah. It's a fast thing.
Don't. We called them pico seconds because it was just fun to say pico.
That's you.
You gotta say it in the voice.
No. Um, so like, your neutron population at the time is equal to your neutron population initial. Yeah, what's that? K effective. Shoot. Anyways, so the little t is prompt neutrons, and the big T is delayed neutrons. So for prompt criticality, anytime little t becomes anything other than like 1/n of big T, you get into trouble. Los Alamos. Yeah, so this is what happens according to math. So that's 10 to the 16th. Fissions occurred in 1 second. So this is typically speaking, 1 times 10 to the 17th is okay, but when you start getting like up there, you start seeing things like just kaboom. I guess is the best way to put that.
I think that number is very nearly the limit of the precision of a double with floating point number. That's funny that that's close.
Well, it's because it's just an estimate based off of some of the things that we could get numbers off of. And then we have to backtrack and think, okay, well, how much energy was lost to the atmosphere? How bright was the light that we saw? Like, how far did it shove this object? How much did that object weigh when it was built? What was the shear strength of the head bolts of this thing? How many do you normally have per second? 1 x 10 there-ish. So that is normal, right? Like that's 10 times 10 to the 16th fissions. That number, 10 times 10 to the 16th fissions, or sorry, 4 times 10 to the 16th fissions is so close to normal operating that the prompt neutrons sustained the cycle to the point when the delayed neutrons appeared. And that's when, because there's so many of them, they gave that energy, and then all of that went back into this like really awesome replicating thing that was really cool to read about. I would not ever want to experience.
Hi, too late.
I called dibs.
Okay.
Do you want to take over?
No.
Okay. So you're okay sitting in it, you just don't want to drive it.
Right. I think I'm just gonna sit here and travel around the world in the little orange pickup in a box.
Yeah. It's
It'd be
nice.
nice.
You can drive it in there.
I can drive it in here, but you know what? Is there no parking brake? Wow. Okay. Oop. Oh shoot. No, I want this thing. Alright, whatever. Where's the other one? Staples, dude. Man, choose ceiling. No, it's not Chernobyl. Alright, I can't remember which one it was. I want to say it was the Idaho Chemical Processing Plant. So they were supposed to manually withdraw by hand this control rod,
I can help with that. What do you need info about?
the one that stapled the guy to the ceiling, and he was so radioactive he killed the ambulance driver
Mm-hmm.
15 miles away from where they picked him up.
Yes, and the guy that was not pulling on the rod, the guy that was observing, that was part of the. Oh goodness. What's the Navy engineers called? There's a specific name for them. Help me, Abby. Come on, I know you know it.
Naval engineers are.
No, like the specific set of team that they're a part of.
Oh, ORS. It's an ORS review board.
You know, like the people that chase Viet Cong out of foxholes were called tunnel rats, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what was the in-house name for the Navy engineers?
Oh, it's like 50-pound head or something like that.
Okay. Anyway, guy that was observing was from the Navy. He was the one that got impaled to the ceiling by the rod.
Yeah.
He wasn't near. Well, he was in the room, but he wasn't within bad distance of it. He died, and it took them. Oh God, what was it?
One. There it is.
46 or something hours to get his body out of there because of the radiation levels. People are only permitted to be within there for 60 seconds at a time. So they ended up having to use a crane with a giant stretcher on it to get his body. Yeah, thing with the control rod. So the control rod was only supposed to be moved, I think it was 15 centimeters, and the guy ended up moving it, I think, 30-something centimeters instead, because apparently sometimes the control rod would get stuck, and then criticality happened.
So,
You ever heard about this one, Nom? Oh, I'll send you a video on it. Keep talking, Abby.
So the guy was supposed to withdraw it like 4 inches, right?
Oh yeah,
He
was it
supposed to
4?
pull it out,
Maybe it was 4, and then he withdrew like 15. It was something ridiculous.
So what happened was, instead of 4 inches, he withdrew it 20. Which caused the fuel rod itself to go prompt critical. Giant steam pocket exploded. Dude gets stapled to the ceiling. And the reactor vessel head, this giant steel thing, flew 160 meters a second, 9 feet into the air, where the rod the guy had pulled out gets stuck in the ceiling. And they say like it doesn't matter. No, it does. It took approximately 100 milliseconds for the rod to travel to 3.3 inches to the end of the catch. They started like doing all the, where is it? Consequences, cleanup.
So you know what's funny, Abby?
After the accident,
Abby.
investigation was completed. Hang on. They sent it to a place that would later have another nuclear incident. Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. Have you ever heard of something called Bader-Meinhof?
Yeah.
Where you experience something and then you...
Yeah.
Because you've experienced that, you start seeing it everywhere.
Uh-huh.
I literally watched a video on this last night. Never knew anything about it until last night. I literally... Like, you brought this up, I saw it, and I was like, wait, I know this. Opened up YouTube history, 3 videos down.
So, why this was a big thing. We didn't understand a lot of how contamination could be spread. And we didn't think that the energy...
Hi, by the way, Mickey. Good to see you, bud. Been a while.
so effective. We thought the radioactive particles just zoomed through us, and that's what killed you. this was one of the things that really brought to the attention of America the amount of radiation that the human body actually traps. His corpse. Where was it? I just read this.
I know something about one of the corpses. One of the guys that served, well, one of the two guys that didn't get impaled, let's say. So originally, when he got taken to the nearby hospital on the base, they told him, since the majority of the radiation had obliterated his white blood cells, they told him that they were going to attempt to do a bone marrow transfusion, which is a newfangled thing at the time. By the way, they weren't. They weren't going to do that. And when they so they made 2 incisions. One, they made improperly, so you can imagine that.
Yep.
And when they extracted the marrow, it was mush.
Yep.
Absolute mush. Nothing left.
Removal of radioactive waste and disposal of the 3 bodies eventually exposed 790 people to harmful levels of radiation. In March of 1962, the Atomic Energy Commission awarded certificates of heroism to 32 participants in response. Where is it? Where is it?
What part are you looking for, Abby?
January 3rd, 1961. There he is. Richard Leroy McKinley, one of the 3 men killed when the nuclear reactor exploded in the nation's only fatal nuclear accident. He died in 1961, 65 kilometers east of Idaho Falls. SL1. Soon after, health physicists, respirators. Leg was the operator who got pinned to the ceiling.
Yes.
McKinley was so radioactive, he killed the ambulance driver, taking him to the hospital after he was dead. And he's the reason why they suspected it was a murder-suicide.
Because of something to do with the girlfriend, I believe is what it was.
His wife and her lover.
Yeah, it was something like
Yeah.
that. Because I think it was him, McKinley and Leg were. There was something going on there, I believe is what it was. They didn't get along. No. I remember what it was. Leg was him. They were. I think they were in some type of class together, and then Leg ended up being his superior, and they didn't get along. I believe that's what it was.
More than likely.
No.
I think you and I are just into very similar things, Abby.
So when I tell people I got an associate's in 9 months, this is what I got my associate's in engineering. This was brought to me by the United States Navy. I went through the Naval Nuclear Power Training Pipeline. Not only did we study each failure and incident, we studied the core mechanics, core principles, and everything behind it. And that led to me really wanting to figure out like why things worked. I mean, I had been a mechanic working at my dad's shop since I was like 10. I'd always twisted wrenches, and it's just why things work and how things work. It's intriguing to me.
Abby,
So, yeah.
do you get a lot of satisfaction out of watching the show How It's Made?
Yes and no. Have you seen the Contact episode?
Probably.
Okay, they start out with this like 2-inch blank of plastic, and they wind up with a 0.5 millimeter thick layer of it. And I'm like, there's gotta be a better way. That's sort of what drove me to become a chemist. Yes, exactly. Like the how it works. The I want to take the part thing. It's what drove me to psychology. Following engineering. It's what made me ultimately want to get a business analyst degree. I wanted to understand all parts of, like, how do we get a product to a customer? What's the process? Okay, well, they come to an engineer and they say, hey, engineer, I want to do this. And the engineer goes, oh, okay, and he does this. And then the customer's like, no, I didn't want that. Well, a business analyst looks at what the customer's talking about and finds a way to convey that information to an engineer to make the right product the first time. Or if they're having a problem with an existing product, how to improve it. Like, it was big data. And I was like, ooh, this would be great. I'm going to understand how self-driving tractors work because of all the sensors.
Man, now I have to take over.
Salt left.
He DC'd.
Bye, Salt. I don't know why I keep
Your
doing this.
explanation sounds so complicated compared to what mine was. So, you know what my degree's in, right?
Nope.
System Administration and Management.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in Comp Sci, and it's an associate's. But, yeah, mine was basically looked at all the degrees offers of my local community college, and I was like, well, you know, I've been messing with computers in one form or another since I was like 3 years old. Yeah, sure, this will probably be easy. That was literally it.
I literally, like, I fired up my summer car and I looked at that thing and I went, oh, it's old, okay, good. And then I walked over to the counter and I went, crap, it's too old, because there was a carburetor sitting there.
Aw, what were you hoping for? Fuel injection?
Throttle body injected.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know, the half breed between the two. Famous last words.
Hmm.
Hi, friend.
Welcome back,
Hi,
Salt.
Salt.
That was a bad one.
That was a bad one.
That wasn't just a lost packet or two. That was a goodbye.
Yeah.
That was a yo dog. I heard you like packet death. That time to live? Nah, we'll get that for you. No stay alives for you.
Yeah. Also, I think that killed my bot again. I think I see why, so now I can fix it.
Is it a weird interrupt?
On the degree that is.
It's because so I have an automatic retry if it can't connect, but this time it failed in a different way because it couldn't look up the host, so it just gave up.
Oh, well, you need to tell it to not lose hope.
Yep, exactly.
And connection. So I just looked it up. We can actually strap this to the back of those 380s.
Cool.
So if we want to get another one, it's 82,000. If we want to paint it, whatever, we can.
Kremlin.
What's up?
Wait, are who's driving?
You nicked the other field.
Oh, I did? Oops.
That's okay. We're basically going to be doing this to both fields anyways.
The other one didn't need cloud.
You should have
but
been.
we can.
You should have been. You should have been here.
Yeah, I guess I should. It's my fault, huh?
Uh-huh.
It's Comcast's fault. Do you want me to say it for you, Salt?
What are you saying for me?
Fuck you, Comcast.
Oh, sure, go ahead.
And then all we see is Salt has left the server.
You just get a weird pop-up banner image over your game.
Yep. Or he's stuck forever synchronizing.
You can have your tractor back if you want it, Salt.
Thanks. What, you don't want to do that anymore?
Nah, I was eating chips. I was taking a break. I mowed for 2 hours.
I'm actually about to have to head to bed.
Yeah, this feels taking forever to finish.
The nice thing about those things is that they plow and cultivate at the same time.
Yeah. That's why you picked it.
That is so tiny.
The not nice thing, it's like, what is it? It is 8 meters. The next largest plow is 10.5, so it's 2.5 meters wider.
For how much price difference?
I think one is 82,000, the second is 110. 130. And one requires 550 horsepower, the other one requires 420.
Maybe that's stupid.
It sucks. That's the way the game is set up.
Stupid.
Mm-hmm. Also, you go faster with that thing.
2 levels of stupidity. Does it even use the PTO?
Nope.
No. What? Why the slowdown then? Bye, Salt.
Bye, Salt. Because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 spring-loaded pistons driven into the ground. So, however much you hate your tractor, it's how rough you can be on it.
500 horsepower lawnmower. Cool. That means I should mow at 80 miles an hour.
Yeah.
I'll just glance over here and check something. Oh man. Ooh. It's nice to have stable internet again, let me tell you.
Yeah, he's Ghanaians.
Oh yeah, he completely DC from Discord.
Not really nice, but like...
Nice in a sarcastic way.
Yep. Oh, and I sign up for Salt.
F's in the chat for Pepper Dirt.
Yeah, F's in chat. Rip Weens. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Hello. Yeah, my internet actually just like locked up for some reason. Alright. We'll have to let him know that we're thinking about it.
You ripped so hard, Salt, that it affected Abby.
Nice.
It's the 15th.
16th. It's the 16th, my dude.
There's a 6-pack of Rip Weens. Yeah, hang on. I get to do a thing. War country stuff.
Oh, new emote.
Yes. Viewer rewards. Emotes. Halloween.
Did you guys hear that Spartacus changed his channel name?
Nope.
Nope.
He is henceforth referred to as Thy Genji.
Oh no.
500 horsepower will get you about 10 seconds and a quarter mile. About 130 mile per hour. So the mower will take a bit. So each pass should take 14 seconds, as long at 1320.
What's the next holiday?
Easter?
Oh, that's April.
St. Pat's.
Is there a month?
April showers bring May flowers. So yeah, it'd be Patty's. Should be St. Patty's Day.
Next. No, we're on PC.
I will check my calendar, Abby. Yes,
No,
St.
PC's
Patty's
better.
Day.
Alright.
And then Easter is on the 4th of April. Abby.
What?
You should have got a Cinco de Mayo weenie. Started playing Tyranny, but so much reading. Isn't that a, Oh, who did that game? Was it Obsidian? It's Obsidian, wasn't it? Oh, yeah, Blake's birthday's on the 12th of May. Steffi's birthday is 8 days away. D&D-esque, okay. So tabletop feel, gotcha. Free Epic Game, oh is it? I'm not already on it on Steam, I don't know. So Salt,
Yep.
what do I need to do to convince you to come be a Viking?
I don't know. I don't have time for another game like that.
Will you hinga while you dinga and while I durgan?
Hmm.
There's no. It was my dad's birthday today. It was going too personal, kind of disappointed. He still didn't respond to my birthday wishes, but not too surprised. Oh, that's unfortunate,
Oh.
Namiro. I had to call my grandfather and then got berated for not speaking to my dad for a month. So I kind of know the feel.
Oh.
Dad's too much of an asshole to apologize, so. Yeah, Dad's kind of that way to Namiro. So, yeah, I understand. He was, the messages I got on the 6th was in support of what, the insurrectionists were doing, so yeah, I went off on him and haven't talked to him since. Yeah. I kind of get what you're going through, Namiro. I understand.
Oh yeah, no, I'm replacing it with the new holiday wing.
Yeah, you're gonna like this one. Steph did good job on it.
Yep. Green wing is what it is.
Green wings, what you're gonna call it?
right now, yeah.
Oh no.
The Irish ween.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, but I can't really imply that about, an entire ethnicity.
Saint ween.
Patty wing?
Yeah, Patty ween. Go Patty ween.
Patty Wayne?
Yeah.
Yeah. Except patty is actually a derogatory term for Irish people.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, if we want to be
Miles
true
apart.
to the spirit of St. Patrick, then we could call it Snake Ween.
Right?
That's what he did. Drove the snakes
Yeah.
off the island. Yes, Abby, thank you.
Just
You remind me a lot of my stepfather when you do that.
okay.
You gotta get the last bit under your breath. Just to make sure it's out
Okay.
there.
Yep. All right, I'm gonna throw the Easter ween up, just for now, just because
But-
Easter ween looks amazing.
But it's not
I'm
Easter.
having trouble. I'm having trouble converting the icon for the snags to the preview of the holiday.
Hmm.
So, why do you have to be dumb right now?
All you gotta do is resize it, Abby. Do it in paint.
I don't know how to do that.
Oh my god. Send me the file. Salt, do you mind to take over?
Yeah, I got it.
Send me the file in Discord.
It says the file is too big. Now, the
Send me-
pixels are wrong, but the file itself is too large. So, just providing detail or something.
Oh my god, that is a crazy.
Load. That. What is a crazy?
Your new ween.
Yes, there it is. Hey, look, it's the green wing. But it won't go down here as the preview for the snags.
Wait. What is that snags now? What is that?
That's the Easter ween.
Oh, they're eggs?
Uh-huh.
I'm kind of surprised that updated live.
I don't know. You wanna check out my favorite one? Check this out. It's my favorite one. All right.
I'm ready. Oh. That looks weird when it's that small.
I know. It's
Looks
why I
like-
can't get in trouble for it.
It just looks like a guy standing there.
Right. It's fantastic.
A guy with a weirdly tall head. Let's see. What emotes do I have? Just tip, whizween, weenie, ripween, greenween. Let's do a new one for ripween. Let's replace ripween with the. Let's do hot dog. There. It's just a helmet in a bush. Alright. Channel points, snags, we'll go here.
Here, Abby.
We'll put just a tip. Man, I feel like we should be doing stuff that's somewhat productive and or important since we're playing a farming simulating game.
You could
Wait.
start planting on the field now that we're mostly done.
Mm-hmm.
That image has a white background.
Yep.
Yeah, paint can't do transparency.
Yep. So see if those will work, and if they do, you can hang on to it for a day and then just get stuff to fix it for you tomorrow. Just see if it works.
I needed the 112 file size reduced. That was the issue. Yeah, it's 39
moment.
kilobytes and it's capped at 25 for the slot.
That's weird.
Right?
It's weird that they would have a file size limit at all, because just pixel limit, that should be enough.
Steph asked if you thought of having less weenies.
If I've thought about having less weenies,
Correct.
But what do you have instead?
I mean, we can get a taco to go with the weenie.
You can get a what?
Taco.
A taco to go with wing. Okay.
I suggested, and she said what very loudly and angrily.
I'm gonna go to bed before she gets in Discord. Because I want to live.
Said she doesn't have the energy to deal with you right now.
I was actually going to ask her if she could make, you know, like how there's pink ribbons and yellow ribbons and everything else for the different things. If we could get one for the important ones, for the sausages, like a necktie kind of thing.
I'm gonna leave that between the two of you. I'm not getting in the middle of that.
just she all right, she didn't have to do so good. Let me just first say that.
Okay.
It's her own fault for making such awesome emotes.
Right. I didn't petition the can you please make me a hot dog.
So what do you want me to say to her?
I don't want you to say anything.
Oh,
because I want
she's
two of
watching
us to
stream
live.
now. She's watching stream. You're in trouble.
Uh-oh.
Okay, explain the situation to her. She's watching.
Kremlin broke it.
No, I did not. I did not. Those are your things, not mine.
Okay, so Kremlin and Salt are plowing the field. That's the situation.
Coward.
A little bit. Can't rip Queen Abby now. Yep.
Nope.
Nope.
You can rip salt.
Yep. Use the salt rip.
Oh, no, that's a bit one. Never mind.
Oh, no.
I'll have the
Okay.
slots for it.
We don't have rips. Oh, no. Whatever. Wait, no. There should be a bucket rip, right? Okay. I'm just gonna send you a message in Discord. That way you can get it in writing. Because, yeah.
Oh, okay. She's drinking the coffee.
So I went to upload the image that I'm sending to you. It's like 39 kilobytes, and Twitch has a limit of 25 kilobytes for the emote preview. Yeah, channel point icon.
What if you use the option, the basic one, where they resize it for you? Is that
Not
like
an
the
option.
one?
The
Not with channel points. Can't do that.
channel points one.
Oh, they don't have that. Okay.
Yep. But if I had to say exactly what happened, Salt did it.
Can't argue that.
Yes, the
There's
man
that
with
one.
rocks decided to change his channel point icon to a weenie.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bold move, Cotton. We'll see how it pays off.
Yep. Try it. This isn't going well, guys.
You need a ladder for that hole you're digging?
Dude, there's like no way. I'm just gonna have to like move to Japan. I figure that'll put me on the right side of the crust. When I get there.
Does she have to Abby proof everything?
Well, I mean, like, since we're already on this topic, yes. I mean, it's not Abby proofing. It's that I don't know how to do this. I don't have the software to do it, and evidently, if I had tried to do it in Paint, it's just going to create a white background. You know, I would not be surprised at all if I die at like TwitchCon.
Why would you go to
Talk to you
TwitchCon?
guys. Oh, well, like, because it's for Twitch streamers. And it's a
Abby.
convention,
Abby, buddy, Abby, bud.
What?
We're nobodies.
So? Doesn't mean I can't go to have fun.
Ah.
When is it?
Oh, be quiet, you introvert.
Me? Okay.
No, him.
When is it? Because like,
Oh, it's canceled until further notice.
yeah, I was gonna say like,
Shoot, they're trying to figure out how to avoid having to pay back.
If I want to get shit-faced around extroverts, I'll do it in a bar.
Why get shit faced? I'm gonna be sober.
I'm good. I'll stay home.
Okay.
You have fun.
I mean, if this is
Send me a postcard.
sober, what do you think's gonna happen when I get drunk?
Send me a postcard.
Romero painted. That is pretty simple. Like do transparencies. I didn't mean to mean that as a link. It's okay, no.
yeah, I forgot about Paint.net. I used to use that. I've started using GIMP because I forgot the other options.
Right. Worst comes to worst, I'll just download GIMP again.
So you
Flatten
get
the file
gimped.
lower.
Hi-oh. What are we doing, guys? What are we doing?
I think we're done.
I'm going to bed. This is like 4 hours past my bedtime. Why are you yelling at anybody? You got no thumbs.
Hey, Salt.
Yeah.
On the right side of your character's face, right at the curvature of the jaw behind the ear, he has a scar.
Yeah. Oh yeah? Nice.
Yes.
Oh, I guess I should stop running away.
Turn to the
turn to the
left.
sun.
Yeah. See it? It's right there.
Oh.
What?
Like right there. Huh. Fine on the other side, though. Blemish on the cheek.
Okay. Well, anyways. Hey, you ready for cup out? This has been another riveting farm stream.
Yeah.
With hosts Kremlin and Salt and bumbling fool Abby.
And this is
Here
where
for
you
public
hit the right button, and right before you send them off, you say, and now for something completely different.
And I'm gonna hand you guys over to Kremlin.
I don't want them.
That sucks. I don't want to have to deal with Steph tomorrow, but somebody bust me.
Well, I can't fix it, so why not send it to the person that can?
Because
I've
it's
elevated your support ticket to level 2.
but it's me. I've requested support so many times she knows me by name. Okay, like this isn't good. Anyways,
Well, then she'll know what to expect.
Conrad.
So, fair warning, you come to me, I'm just gonna send you off somewhere else.
Oh no, look at what happened. Everybody's over here with Kremlin. Oh man. Alright. Y'all have a good night. I'll catch y'all later.
Bye, Abby.
The,
Bye.
right, no matter.
Have fun, Salt.
Have fun, you too, I guess. I don't know what that means. Oh. Yay.
And I'm passing the savings on to you.
I'm already looking for some savings.